So germs are a common word we use for bacteria usually, although other kinds of organisms can make us sick as well. And I was sad to hear that some people don't think germs exist because they can't see them, because I study bacteria and I think they're really great and amazing. I can understand the temptation not to believe in something that you can't see with your own eye, but the good news is that we can see bacteria with our eyes, just not our unaided eye. So we can go and look with the light microscope, and the light that's bouncing off the bacterial cells will enter our eye through some lenses, and we can watch them move around and do their things. So we can see bacteria. But even if we couldn't see bacteria, we have evidence of them all around us. Bacteria participate in major biochemical processes that shape our world. Each individual germ is not very big, but there are many of them, and together they all work together to change our world. You might be familiar with their fermentation that makes yogurt or beer or bread or pickles. If you enjoy those foods, then you're enjoying the evidence of bacteria's life and processes. Also, we can thank them for the oxygenation of the earth. The fact that we can breathe and enjoy oxygen is due to the major effect that they've had on the environment by living and doing their thing. So they're everywhere, and their evidence for them is available through a cheap microscope you can buy or build yourself, or by just looking around and seeing the effect that they have on the world around us. For people who don't accept this evidence, I would say the bacteria don't care about us. They're going to be there whether we think about them or not. Your life is shaped by germs and bacteria, whether you want to think about your life that way or not, and you'll probably have a better and more productive way of thinking about and interacting with your world if you choose to accept this evidence and build your model of the way things work around it. There are major and serious consequences to society if lots of people believe that germs don't exist because we can't see them. This trend of sort of needing immediate evidence before your eye and not being able to accept more indirect evidence through a critical evaluation of things that are before you really leads to a lot of concerns in our society right now. For example, denial of climate change. So even though we can't pick up a climate change and look at it, its evidence is all around us, and if we don't accept it, then we won't be able to address it, which will have problems for future generations, or even our own generation. It's causing big storms now and famines in other parts of the world. Another possible problem, if you don't want to accept the evidence immediately in front of you, is people who don't want to have their children vaccinated because they've been told that it might lead to autism. The evidence against that theory is overwhelming, and it's clear that vaccines don't cause autism. If we look at what's happening in the Pacific Northwest right now, there's a big measles outbreak. People are dying because of the anti-vaccination movement. We don't need to do that. We have science that will help us prevent these diseases. And so, although as an individual, if I don't accept the theories such as the presence of bacteria or climate change or the efficacy of vaccines that might impact my ability to live well, as a society, if we don't accept these, we're all going to suffer. So I'd encourage people who might say, I don't see a germ, I don't think it's real, to look more broadly and think a little more carefully about what evidence could be and why we should be able to accept indirect evidence for the presence